Coach. We got head coach Jerry Stanford here and have distinguished alumni. My man down here. Hey, tell us about today, Mr. Dr. Young. I'm sorry.
Today, being one of the distinguished alumni for TISD, we had started out with a great morning with Coach and Rick Rowe from Channel 3, his community caravan, and then we had festivities throughout the day. And at the luncheon, each of the alumni was able to get up and give a speech. John Thomas, the student council, did a great job leading us around, and I tell you, everybody did a great job. Miss Brittany did a great job hosting us, and then the school did, and just fabulous to be back on campus and to see everything that is growing, and then also to give our thanks to people that helped with our education and helped with our adulthood.
I had this long thing I was going to say, and then I got ready to say it, and I just forgot it.
I had one question, though. What year did your dad graduate from Texas High?
I'll have to look that up. I'm not really
sure.
sure.
You said that this morning, so a total of 11
youngs
have gone through Texas High.
In our direct family, now that's not counting cousin youngs.
No, but your direct family, 11.
Well, I mean, I went to Arkansas High, and if we count cousins, then, I mean, that's
y'all can't count.
Coach, man, great season. I think what a lot of the town's talking about right now, you have two really young running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, with Cody out for the season, you have a young quarterback, but you're still stacking up these dominating wins.
Yeah, we've just been really proud of our seniors who've led through some adversity. And every year you're going to face some type of level or some type of adversity. And ours happened really early with the loss of Trent and then the loss of Cody. And we've had some young guys really step up, but that's really due to our senior leadership allowing young guys to flourish, and just they've taken the step to allow young guys to feel their way through into this. And really help us out to be where we are right now, and just pleased to be where we are.
I'm sorry, Bill. I thought you were about to say something.
No.
Good.
Trying to take care of
Go
some
ahead,
other
Dr.
business.
Young.
Well, and y'all had an off week, Coach. Tell us how that went.
It was good. We were really mentally as much physically tired. We'd been going at it for about 11 weeks right there. Needed a break. I think coaches needed a break, the kids needed a break, and so we were able to fix a lot of our own problems that we've had over the course of the year, hopefully. I think that was the goal, at least. That's what it felt like. They got fixed, and then got into our game plan on Marshall on Thursday and Friday, and then rolled into it this week with a new, fresh week, ready to go.
And talk about Marshall. Marshall's one of those teams that always plays us tough. They gear it. Seems like we're always their Super Bowl.
Yeah, and not to say, they are such a capable team and a well-coached team. They're going to control the clock and do a lot of things scheme-wise that are going to give us problems. But, I think the biggest thing also is they've got a loss in the district and we don't. And so another loss really sets them back, and so they're playing with their backs against the wall. But inevitably we control what we do. And so we can control us, and we can control our actions and our effort and how we execute, and we've got to take care of us tonight. That's going to be the ultimate key to success here.
So I got a question for you, Coach Stanford. So similar to A&M and Alabama every year in college football, no matter the difference in talent, it always seems to be a close game because it's a rivalry game. How have you mentally prepared our team for this week?
Kind of what I said just a minute ago. We really tried to focus on our execution. There's just some glaring things that we really needed to improve on in all phases of the game. And so we're hoping that we fix those. But we've been preaching how physical this game's going to be all night, and that's really what it's going to come down to. It's going to be a physical contest in their style of play and really how we like to play. And, they're one of the teams that physically can match up with us. And so we know we've got our work cut for us, but we're up to the task and come out ready to play tonight.
Senior night, is it a distraction to the team? Is it a distraction to the coaching staff trying to get the team ready, or is it just something that's just another bump in the road?
We really try to build it up as, this is something to relish in. To enjoy. At least what we talked about today. This is one of my favorite nights because a kid gets to look back, and we've been with this group now for 6 years, over 6 years. Really about 6.5 years we've been with these guys. And so this is an opportunity to enjoy all the accomplishments you've done, to get out here and play in what's going to be another sold-out crowd in Tiger Stadium and just a beautiful atmosphere on a beautiful night in East Texas. And so it's to enjoy the moment, to take a deep breath and step back and reflect on what you've done, and to just get out here and play your butt off in front of everybody. We only got 2 more home games left that we're guaranteed, and this being one of them. And so we love playing here, and hopefully we'll come out ready to play.
Coach, how accomplished do you feel with Potter? Accomplished may be the wrong word, but Potter coming in, played a good game in the second half there in Louisiana. Each week it seems like he's gotten a little bit better. For sophomore, how do you see this going for the rest of the season? I mean, he's a sophomore, 2 more years left. It's on paper he's gotten better every week.
Sure, no, he has. I mean, I think it's a big step. And like we told him, the first half that he came in, he just went off against Benton. And now people are able to game plan for him. Strengths and weaknesses, this is what they can kind of expect from him. And so, like we've told him, each week's going to be tougher. The challenge is going to be harder. Tonight's not going to be any different. But to be a 15-year-old kid, to step out and play in front of 10,000 people every Friday night, being the number 4 ranked team in the state, and that's a lot of pressure to take on. And he's handled it well. He's cool and calm, and nothing really affects him. He's not high. He's not low. He's just kind of David J.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, he's just David J. And so he's handled things really well.
So I got to ask this question on a podcast I was on the other day, specifically about you. What kind of pressure do you think Coach Stanford feels to have 2 Division I running backs? He's got 2 wide receivers with Division I offers, a third that will probably have one here soon. Maybe all 3 do at this point. To spread that ball out and be sure everybody gets their touches.
Spreading the ball out is, I think, one of the things that we do really, really well every year. You go back just from the time we've been here to now, even when we have Valence, who's going to be an NFL receiver this next year, to these other guys. And so one of the things we pride ourselves in is making sure, on our call sheet, we've got sections for this kid, this kid, this kid, and they're blocked out. We expect to get the ball to these kids in these ways. And so we really tried to build it that way because that's how we're successful. The more guys that can get the ball, the more pressure that's on the defense of things they got to be concerned about, and that's what makes us dynamic and explosive on offense.
Coach, let's talk about Marshall. What are their strengths?
They've got one of the better defenses back in the district. Coming back from last year, they had 8 guys back, and they were the number 2 defense in the district last year behind us. And so they've got a very experienced, physical, particularly linebackers and D-line, just really talented right there. And then offensively, they're much a ball control offense. They're going to spread it around. Everybody's going to say they're in the wing tee, but it's a variated wing tee where really it's just a ton of formations, and you've got to be really disciplined. You've got to be smart. We've got to be able to count who's where and who's what. And when we do get the ball, we've got to do a really good job of taking advantage of possessions because they're – on average right now, teams are averaging about 27 snaps less a game against Marshall than they would on a normal night. And so they're going to really limit us on how many times we get the ball.
Coach, I got people texting in wanting to know how healthy we are at this point of the year.
Outside of the 2 we lost earlier, we're as healthy as we could be. And that open week really helped us heal up some bumps and bruises. We'd had a couple guys out versus Mount Pleasant that we held out. They're back now. And so this is as good as we can be right here health-wise.
Coach, talk a little bit about Ian Kreit. On that same podcast, his name came up, and they were asking a lot of questions about him. Leader on the defense, having a great year on paper. Tell us about him, kind of what the next step's going to be for him maybe in his collegiate career.
Yeah, he's one of the 2 guys back this year from what's been one of the better defenses in the state. And so we're leaning on him and Brandon Childs to be those 2 guys. And Ian, when he wants to, can be the most dominant defensive player or player, period, on the field. And he's shown that week in and week out this year. When he wants to dominate, he dominates. And so he's picking up a lot of interest right now. He's really doing a great job for us, and we put a lot on him.
On the offensive side, Riley Barron's starting to get some really big looks and talk about his recruitment process.
Yeah, Riley has done a great job. I mean, it's week to week. Like I was talking to Texas Tech today. They say, man, Coach, you watch week 1 to now, and it's a different person. He's just playing with confidence. He's playing faster. He's getting more productive, and you can just see the potential in what this kid can be. And so because of that, you're seeing college coaches take notice.
Go ahead.
What's the game plan tonight, Coach? You got any trick plays for us?
No, we're really just what you see is what you get.
I gave him a couple. Now, I don't know whether he uses them or not.
What you see is what you get type of team, and we've really got to execute well. And I mean that sincerely. We've really got to take advantage of the ball when we have it. Defensively, the biggest key is accounting. I mean, they're such an unbalanced team. They move people around. You've got to know where people are, and we've got to be disciplined, and we can't just turn somebody loose, and we've got to tackle extremely well.
So I heard in preparation for this game that Marshall likes to drop 2D safeties a lot, so really back and far off the ball. So are we looking to control time of possession just as Marshall does?
No, not at all. I mean, if that's what lends on the drive, then absolutely. But we've done a really good job of being explosive, averaging over 12 yards a play right now. And so we want to keep that up. We want to get those guys the ball that can make big plays, and those deep safeties are going to force the ball maybe a little bit more underneath than normal, but we want to be able to take advantage of that if that's going to be the case.
12 yards of play.
Wow,
I didn't even know that.
Wow.
That's wild. Well, Coach, we're going to let you back to it on that one.
Appreciate it.
But let's take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Good luck, Coach.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room, MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
And we are back. We had Cody Reese with us. Cody, man, how things going?
Going good. I had surgery on Tuesday, and not a lot of pain right now, but I'm good to go when baseball comes.
Well, I talked to your dad today, and that's what he said. He said about 90 days.
Yep.
You'll be back
2 to
going.
3 months.
If you're not fixed by then, Dr. Young will figure something out.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
So, Cody, right after you went out and David J., a sophomore quarterback, filled in, we talked on the sideline, and your mindset was, his job is to not turn the ball over, keep the ball in offense's hands. How do you feel he's filled in for your role at starting quarterback?
I think he's done really good. He's controlled the offense, kept the O-line calm. I think he's only had one interception, and that was on what he thought was an offsides, and he threw it up, and it wasn't offside. So I think he's done really good. If he continues that, I think we'll make a deep run.
For sure.
Guys, let's talk about a few area games here. In-town games, we have Parkview coming in to play Arkansas High. I don't know a lot about Parkview, but evidently they're the real deal this year.
Yeah, I don't know much about them, but I'll tell you what I want to talk about is Arkansas High last week.
Oh, yeah.
That Lakeside program's typically a really good program, and now Coach has got his team, starting to believe, and all you need is that one win. And, hey, they're going to have some bumps along the way, but I like the way that they're playing right now, and Nate Wall's freaking showing out.
Hey, with 3-3 right now, as I believe where they're at, I don't think a lot of people had them picked to win 3 games. And to be 3-3 at this point in the season, Nate Wall threw for 164 and a couple touchdowns, ran for 146.
MVP,
a couple touchdowns.
wasn't he the MVP?
MVP last week.
Yeah.
That's their second MVP of the week. They have the third leading rusher in the state of Arkansas on that team.
Wow.
And they're all sophomores. That's what's crazy. All those guys are sophomores.
And that wasn't even a close game, talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they put it on them. And so, it's got to make Coach proud. And just as you said, give them some confidence going to this week. And then, in the future from that.
And on Nate Wall, he used to be on my baseball team, actually, and he is one of the most competitive and gritty kids you'll ever find. He used to get mad whenever he'd get thrown out at first. So for a team like Arkansas High, having a gritty quarterback is essential.
I went and watched him play last. He played like six-man football. He threw for I'm not even joking. He had 800 total yards
a game,
7-8 touchdowns in a game. And I remember thinking to myself, I'd never seen something like that.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch, but it just didn't feel like real football to me. It's how is this going to translate? I was kind of excited when I heard, all right, he's playing 11-man football this year. Does this translate? And I think at this point we can all say it does.
It does. Absolutely.
An athlete's an athlete, and he's a good quarterback.
That's right, no doubt.
So,
well, and that's Coach's first year there. So, just as you said, most of them are sophomores, and he's going to have time with them and kind of get them to do what he wants to, and then also work with his game plan and his coaches.
Yeah, Coach Outlaw, I've been really impressed with him. He's had a lot of adversity early on to be at the 3-3 point. I don't know what's going to happen tonight with Parkview, but they've exceeded expectations.
Well, and I think he knew what he had coming in, and he's got a good pedigree to be a coach, and so it didn't shock him one bit, and he stuck to his game plan, and you're going to see the fruits.
Yeah, if you hadn't had the chance to meet him, super nice guy, by the way. Liberty Ilo's heading to Gilmer tonight.
Big game.
A really, really big game. Gilmer's not giving up a bunch of points. I don't know what their average is, but it's got to be somewhere between 10 and 14 a game.
Gilmer's going to be on that. This is me. Gilmer's going to be on that high after kind of roughing up PG a little bit, and it's the Super Bowl for LE. I know if LE doesn't think about next week, if they don't think about PG next week, and they go down and take care of business, that could be a really, really good game.
And LE's for real. I mean, they've
Yeah,
been
no.
doing it, and make us proud in the area. But they've been
football
working
in the
hard.
area right now.
Yeah,
Really.
This is his third year at the program. Dwoski has done everything you expect a coach to be in on their third year. He was 4-0, went and played a 4A Division I team, a division up, got beat by Sulphur Springs. Spring Hill played not a great Spring Hill team. That's my alma mater. We'll just say it what it is. They're just not very good, and there's no end in sight, it looks like, for that. But Liberty Idle, this is a big test. This is like, is Liberty Idle a top 10 team? We'll find out tonight.
They've also had some key injuries like we have,
Oh, yeah.
and they're learning right now to play with what they got and believing, and that's the big C, confidence is.
If they can get Cal back, I see no reason for Cal to play tonight. But if they can get Cal back for next week, which I just can't imagine, if Cal can play, there's no way he's not going to play against Pleasant Grove.
Those Jones boys.
We have a big time football game next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. They're playing at LE. That place is going to be packed out.
Oh man!
But Gilmer's real deal. Let's call it what it is. Gilmer's real deal. Tonight we'll find out how good is Liberty Idle against the 4A Division II competition.
I agree.
This freshman they have, the Prevo kid, leading the area in touchdowns. I mean, he's just a walking,
Special, right?
highlight machine. Offers from Penn State, USC, Arkansas, and I know I'm missing a couple too. But big time offers. Those came as an 8th grader.
Arkansas, big time offers. I like.
There
I
you
like
go.
your.
Notice how I mentioned Arkansas last. Somewhere he's not going to go.
But I agree. As you were saying, Gilmer's just coming off that win, confidence up, and LE could be a spoiler for them.
That's right.
LE can be a spoiler. Tracy Revel tonight, for them to win that football game, JJ's going to have one of the greatest games he's ever played. He will have to throw for over 300 yards to beat Gilmer tonight. If they can either throw for 300, they're going to have to end up with about 450 yards to beat Gilmer tonight, and their defense is going to have to get a couple turnovers. Tracy Rebels has to play great in coverage, but also has to bring the hat up to the line of scrimmage.
I hope they do what they say. Kick LE.
Shout out to Coach Kimball. He's the first-year DC at
That's
LE.
right.
Hey,
He's
Coach
our
Kimball's
linebacker
done a great
coach.
job.
Yeah,
Coach
absolutely.
Kimball's done a really, really good job over there. I'm excited for that program. I'm excited to see what happens for them moving forward. And I don't want to jump a week forward, but I'm excited about next week. That's going to be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, no doubt.
Then we got PG. We got Pittsburgh coming in town for PG. It's their homecoming, I believe. Pittsburgh, Coach Abron 3 years ago played for a state championship. 4 years ago played for a state championship. Was not picked to win a single game all the way to the state championship when he was at Paul Pewitt.
Wow.
Great coach.
Yeah.
Went to Mahia. Is at Pittsburgh now. That team last year, if you remember, 9 straight losses. Win the one game that gets them into the playoffs, and they go to the third round.
We were off. I went to that game. I think that Gilmer was the better team on the field that night, but I think that PG didn't play up to PG standards, and I think they bounce back this week. They put it on them early. They get a lot of people in, get the whole team in, and I look for them to run away with this one on homecoming.
Yeah, I think that one might be us over by halftime.
Yeah.
I think that one probably will be.
You want to win that game going into the dance the next night,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Always.
This is going to be a big confidence game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he may leave him in a little bit longer than he probably should to get the big-time confidence back.
Forgot to tell y'all we were going to have a flyover, but there it goes right there.
As Pittman coming in for this game.
Well,
he's
he's got other things on his mind.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think PG is probably going to be up after last week and losing, and I think Coach has got them ready to go. And then, Pittsburgh, I think is probably going to do pretty well, but may not be quite for the challenge.
Yeah, they're well coached. They're still young.
Right.
That's the thing. And what he did last year as the season went on, they just got better and better and made it to the third round of the playoffs. Pleasant Grove would have had to play them in the fourth round of the playoffs last year. And I'm going to be honest, Pittsburgh was looking really, really good.
Wow.
Running Pleasant Grove's offense. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But touch on last week, that Pleasant Grove loss. I'm not going to make excuses for the scoreboard, but if you were there, 2 touchdowns called back on Pleasant Grove, you take away the touchdown right before halftime. I'm not saying they would have won, but that is a lot closer game than what it would have been. So they have a lot of reasons to keep confidence up after a game like that and a lot to play for. I believe in that bracket now, Gilmer's going to have to play Carthage first.
Ooh.
And if Pleasant Grove can make it to the fourth round, that's when they play Carthage. And that's the big question there. Can anybody compete with Carthage? And thus far, we've seen nobody be able to do it, including Marshall High School, which they beat 49 to nothing.
Yep.
Wow.
And then Redwater has, what did I see? Prairie Land? Does that sound like a team?
Yeah, they're Prairie Land's near.
DCAP has Prairie. By the way, Winky They're in DeKalb. They have this young kid in DeKalb named Winky Williams. Best football name of all time. Maybe not of all. Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid at Alabama may be the best.
Yeah.
But this Winky Williams kid is real deal at DeKalb. And I'm really excited. In 2 weeks, Hooks and DeKalb play. It'll probably be game of the week for our area.
Nice.
If they were 2 5A schools, for sure everybody'd be there. With them being 3A, I don't know, but I think that might be a game I might go up there and check out for that, take the set. That's going to be a big-time football game at Hooks. Hooks is leading in passing yards, rushing yards, DeKalb's second in rushing yards. Both teams on the defensive leaderboards have leaders in the top 5. I mean, it's just 2 great teams, but none of that has anything to do with Redwater. Redwater's playing Paris Chisholm. That's right. Man, every time I hear Paris Chisholm, how does Paris have so many high schools?
I don't know. I didn't feel like it was that big of a town. How many high schools does it have? Paris High School, Paris Chisholm. Are there any other high schools there?
Yeah, North Lamar.
North Lamar.
So
Wow.
Are you probably worked in Paris before, hadn't you?
yeah.
'Cause that's not a big town.
No, it's not a big town. But
3 high schools?
They're all
Like-
like 4A, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this would be a 3A Division I, right? Redwater?
And usually they're pretty good, and they're pretty good in their sports and athletic programs. And
Well, unlike you, Dr. Young, I don't have to be presidential. North Lamar is not good at football. And I don't know much about Paris Chisholm.
Right.
But I know one of them's not good at football. But the Paris Wildcats are definitely good at football. Would like to see Redwater get on a roll. They have that Marquess Jones Jr. who was up for Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, had 4 touchdown receptions in 1 football game. So look for Redwater to kind of blow it up this week. Any comments from my man over here?
I'm just excited to see how the Tigers come out. We got to start fast, and really on the defense side of the ball, we got to set the tone early. Don't let them get the ball running. That way our time of possession goes way down. So good luck to our Tigers. I'll be back down here to blow the smoke as we run out. So
Yes, sir.
that's all I got.
I'd also like to comment on Cody. A lot of adversity you're going through, and just watching your maturity, being a good teammate. Rooting for David J to do his best, and just really, really, does the heart good, and know that he's a fine young man, and his mom and dad have done a good job.
Excellent.
And we need that arm to get recuperated for baseball season.
No
Is that
doubt.
what you're telling me?
Yes, sir. Hey, talk a little bit about that. Talk about your role on this team since your injury.
I've basically just become a coach that doesn't get paid. I mentor David J. kind of on the sideline. Coach Toon tells me everything, but I just kind of go over it in the game. Check this, check that. Just make sure that he has all his ideas in his head on what he wants to do.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back in 1 minute.
Go Tigers.
We're back live at Tiger Stadium at Grimm Park, and we did have the head Tiger on, as Morgan said, but the head Tiger is Dr. Brubaker, our superintendent, so we have him in the middle. Welcome, Dr. Brubaker.
Thank you.
And we also have Mr. Todd Marshall, the man that gets everything done at TISD.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Depends on
either.
who you ask.
Guys, what do y'all like about – this first question, what do y'all like about game night?
Oh, I just like the environment of it. When we moved back to Texas, and that first Friday that we came here and we saw the Texas flags flying and all the cheering, looking over at the student section, it's just that enthusiasm, that spirit that you just love.
Just not as big on that in Arkansas, are they?
Well,
I think that was a shot at. Billy.
That was a shot
that
at
was
me,
a dig
Dr.
at Razorback
Don't
Billy
take
over
it.
there.
Don't take offense to it. I
So
do.
I'll tell you, it is exciting. It's especially now the weather's getting cooler. It's the leaves are turning. We're celebrating kids. I know it's senior night. We've got several class reunions here. We're actually 3 class reunions, 72, I think 67 and 82. Distinguished alumni, just a great, and Grimm Stadium is such a great place to watch a game. It's probably one of the nicest places in Texas because you're on top of the action. You can see it, you can feel it. There's not a bad seat in this stadium.
No, there's not.
So it is exciting.
You can get smoke on you before the game.
That's right. You never know.
And you might not, if you're watching online, you might not be able to watch the game because of the smoke for at least a quarter.
But yes, it is exciting.
And we started out early this morning. Plenty of activities. Mr. Marshall and Dr. Brubaker were there early at the gym, the indoor gym there, and had a good time. The alumni very much appreciate everything y'all have done to roll out for all of us, and the students have been great. Administration's been great, and then, of course, the trustees have really shown us some love, and we appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you. It's an honor to do it.
Game night is huge around here, and there's a lot of production. But what I want to know about is the bond election. Can we talk about that? That's huge for Texas I and TISD.
I can talk about factual information.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. I can.
Yes, sir.
So I can tell you that we've got 2 propositions on the ballot, and that early voting starts on October 24th, runs through November 4th, and then November 8th is Election Day. Proposition A includes safety and security, school replacements and renovations, some extracurricular buses. It's $130 million, and then there's Proposition B is for career and technology education, renovations, new space at Texas High.
Stuff that we need.
Are you building an airplane? Did I hear that?
We are building an airplane. We've got students over at Texas High. It's a program called Tango Flight, and over the course of 2 years, they're going to build a plane from a kit. Then they're going to take it to the airport, finish it up, extensive FAA inspection.
Thank goodness.
And then they say they're going to take the superintendent up in the plane. So
I
I've
was
got
going to
that
ask
to
if
look
you
forward to.
were going to be on the first flight.
He's got first class on the first flight.
That's right. And
I'll be there on the second flight.
we may have to take out an insurance policy there. But no, it is exciting, and the kids are excited about it. We've had lots of enrollment, lots of excitement around that. Aviation's a big field that's growing in this area. There's a high need for that. So the data supported, going in that, offering that program, and it is exciting.
That just sounds like something. Has anybody else ever done that?
There's just a handful of programs in the state of Texas and really across the country, so we feel really fortunate to have that here. Our Education Foundation and the Texas Pioneer Foundation helped to make that happen for us. We're really grateful for it.
Man, that's really cool.
And then,
that is.
I mean, I've heard people putting together a car and stuff, but
airplane that soup's going to fly in.
then y'all have plenty of other programs going on as far as the CTE. You tell us a little bit about that?
Well, one of the things that we're really excited about right now is called Pathways in Technology Early College High School. And what this does for us, it brings in more state funding. We're in a planning year right now with TEA, and that's going to make it so that we're going to be able to help students pay for tuition with money from the state. Currently, we have about 19 kids who've earned associate's degrees and high school diplomas. It's
big.
We want to see that double, triple, quadruple over the next few years.
That is amazing. When you're at a graduation, here's your high school degree. But also, they've also accomplished this as well.
Yeah.
But you're also getting people out in the workforce of what we need. Some of those jobs and people to fill those jobs.
That's right. So things like, we know that we need a lot of teachers, right? There's a teacher shortage, and so we're going to help kids get on toward teaching credentials, hire them as aides when they graduate, help them through A&M. In healthcare, we know there's a huge need for medical personnel. We were only graduating from all of our institutions about 70% of what we need over the next few years. So lots of opportunity there.
One thing I've been seeing, there's a lot of I'm going to call it student leadership. I don't know what else to call it. Like today with John Thomas at the Distinguished Alumni, the students are involved in everything. Is this planned, or is this something that, how do y'all go about that? Like there's great students doing things. John, I'm always amazed at what John Thomas is doing, but he wasn't the only one. I mean, there were 30 students there today at the awards ceremony, all had jobs doing things.
I was always envious of that when I looked at Texas High when I was growing up, and it's been there for a long time. They do a great job. There's a lot of people. I mean, you think of Miss Waldrop, you think of I'd leave people out if I started talking about everybody, but it's the more that the administration puts on them, the more that people want to be a part of it. And so it's just something that happens, and it's I don't know
Well,
what.
and it's nice too to hear that you ask them their advice and what they may want at school and what they think the program needs. And so it's always nice they have input. So having that input, they're going to be in for the program, and then of course be some of your best advocates.
Oh, they've been great. This year we have 1,000 teacher and staff meeting right at the beginning of the year. They planned the whole thing. They served as the MCs for it. They did
Kids
all of
did?
it. Our students did.
Today,
Just incredible.
Today at the Distinguished Alumni Luncheon, you'll notice that not one school employee spoke. It was all facilitated and led and by our students. So they did everything. The only adults that spoke were the Distinguished Alumni. So I thought that was really special. They planned the event. They spoke. They led it. Our student councils, they are the president of all the student councils over the state of Texas. So there's over 1,000 school districts in Texas, and no telling how many high schools. So we are the president of those student councils. So I think it's the second or third time we've had that. Leadership is a big focus in our district, starting at the elementary level. We have 6 Franklin Covey Leader in Me Lighthouse campuses. I think there are 64 in the state of Texas. We are 6 of those 64. So it is something that we ingrain at an early age and skills that we want our kids to learn as they grow and move up. And we think what's happening at the high school is just a byproduct of things that we're starting at a young age.
We